My own sister abandoned me in North Korea, left me standing alone at the Pyongyang airport gate with no passport, no money, no phone. And the sickening realization that she'd walked away on purpose while I was in the bathroom, trusting her to watch my bag like she always promised she would. My heart was hammering so hard I could barely breathe. Every shadow in that cold, echoing terminal felt like it was closing in, and I kept thinking, this can't be real. She wouldn't do this. Not here. Not me. Not after everything. But the boarding announcement for our flight to Beijing had already faded. The gate was empty, and the fear hit me like ice water. I was 14, American, completely alone in one of the most locked down countries on earth. And my big sister, the one person who was supposed to protect me, had just vanished with my documents and left me to whatever came next. What she didn't know was that the stranger who found me on that marble floor would make sure she regretted every single second of it before I dive deeper into the mess that changed my whole life. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for sitting here with me while I pour all this out. It still shakes me to tell it, but knowing y'all are listening makes it feel less lonely. Please drop in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is there. I love imagining us all connected like this, sipping coffee or wine, sharing these raw moments. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button for me. It really does help more than you know. Keeps these stories going for women who need them. Now, let me tell you what really happened. Okay, so picture this. I'm Molly Smith, 32 now, running my own little import business out of Charleston, South Carolina mostly. Handmade textiles and ceramics from women, artisans overseas, but back when this nightmare went down, I was just 14, skinny, quiet, always trying to take up as little space as possible. My sister, Lauren, was 17. The golden child of our family ever since our dad passed when I was 6. Mom worked crazy hours as a nurse in Columbus, Ohio, trying to keep the lights on after Dad's medical bills wiped us out. So Lauren basically became the stand-in parent when Mom was pulling doubles. Everyone said Lauren was so mature, so responsible, so pretty with her perfect cheerleader smile and straighter report cards. Me, I was the afterthought, the kid who got straight B's, kept my room clean without being asked. Never complained when Lauren got the new phone or the better bedroom or the last slice of pizza. I told myself if I was easy enough, good enough, invisible enough, maybe someday they'd notice me. Spoiler, they didn't. Our dad God, I still miss him. Dale left behind a small life insurance policy and a trust account. He set up for both of us as kids before the cancer took him. Mom never talked about the details. Just said it was for college someday and that we were comfortable. Lauren, though she'd started acting weird about money that spring. I'd overheard her on the phone once, whispering to her best friend, once I'm 18, it's all mine if I play this right. Molly doesn't even know what's coming. I didn't get it then. I should have paid attention. The trip was supposed to be our big adventure. Lauren had won this cultural exchange thing through her high school program, 2 weeks in North Korea, on a tightly controlled group tour, the kind they only let a handful of Westerners do each year. Mom scraped together the rest of the money because Lauren begged, said it would look amazing on college apps. And honestly, I was excited too. I'd never left the States. Pyongyang sounded exotic, like something out of a documentary. We flew from Columbus to Beijing first, then caught the special air choreo flight into Pyongyang. Everything felt surreal, the propaganda posters everywhere, the guides watching our every move, the way Lauren kept posing for selfies like we were on spring break in Miami instead of one of the most isolated places on the planet. During our layover in Beijing before the final leg, Lauren was sweet to me, unusually sweet. She bought me bubble tea, let me pick the songs on her playlist, even hugged me when I said I was nervous about the border checks. Don't worry, Malls, she said, ruffling my hair. I've got you. We're in this together. Famous last words. When we landed in Pyongyang, the airport felt like stepping into another decade. Clean, quiet marble floors that echoed, giant portraits of the leaders staring down. Our group had a short wait before the bus to the hotel, so Lauren suggested we freshen up. Give me your backpack, she said casually. It's heavy, and you hate carrying stuff. I'll watch it while you pee. I handed it over without a second. Thought my passport. Boarding pass for the return. The emergency $100 Mom had sewn into a little pouch. Even my cheap phone. Why wouldn't I trust her? She was my sister. I was in the bathroom maybe 10 minutes. Nervous. Stomach, you know how it is. When I came out, the gate area was almost empty. Our tour group had already started moving toward the exit. I scanned for Lauren's bright red hoodie. Nothing. I waited 5 minutes. 10. Telling myself she'd gone to grab water or talk to a guide. My stomach twisted harder. I asked a uniformed airport staff member in my shaky middle school Mandarin where the rest of my group went. He pointed toward the departure doors and said something about boarding. Complete. Boarding? We weren't flying out yet. We'd just arrived. Panic rising, I ran to the information desk. The woman there spoke perfect English, calm and polite. She checked the system. Your sister, Lauren Smith, cleared immigration and joined the domestic transfer group to Beijing. She listed you as remaining with extended family on a later flight. Nah. Knees almost buckled. No, that's not right. I'm supposed to be with her. We're together. She checked again, printed a slip. Passport number matches. She boarded 30 minutes ago. Flight is airborne. Airborne. Lauren had left me in North Korea with nothing. I stood there frozen while the woman asked if I needed help. I couldn't speak. My mind kept replaying her last words. I've got you. And the way she'd smiled when I handed over the backpack. She'd planned this. She looked me in the eye and lied. The fear was suffocating. Every soldier I saw felt like they were watching me. Every camera like it was recording my panic. I was a minor American, undocumented now, in a country where tourists disappear into rumors. I slid down against a pillar, hugging my knees, trying not to sob out loud, because I'd heard stories about what happens when you cause a scene here. That's when I noticed him. An older man, maybe late 50s, in a simple gray coat, standing a respectful distance away. He didn't approach right away, just watched with quiet concern, like he'd seen scared kids before. When our eyes met, he gave the smallest nod, then walked over slowly and sat on the bench across from me, leaving space. You look lost, young one, he said in accented but clear English. My name is Kim Dae-hoon. Everyone calls me Dada here at the airport. I help travelers who need it. May I sit closer or would you rather I stay here? I wiped my face with my sleeve. Every instinct screamed, danger stranger. Foreign country, alone, but I was out of options. They left me, I whispered. My sister. She took my passport and left. His face darkened, not with surprise, but with something like recognition. Then we have work to do. Come with me. Trust me, they will regret this. I hesitated, heart pounding, but something in his steady eyes felt safe. Maybe it was the way he didn't rush me, didn't touch me, didn't promise miracles. Maybe I was just desperate. I stood up on shaky legs and followed him through a side door into the quiet maze of staff corridors, wondering if I'd just made the worst decision of my life or the best one. Dakim Dahun didn't rush me. He just walked ahead at a calm, steady pace through those narrow staff hallways, nodding to the occasional guard who stepped aside without question. I kept glancing back, half expecting someone to grab me, half wondering if this was some kind of trap. But the fear in my chest was shifting, still there, sharp and cold, but now mixed with this tiny, stubborn spark of hope. Maybe I wasn't completely invisible after all. We ended up in a small, windowless office that smelled faintly of tea and printer ink. A middle-aged woman in a neat uniform. Ms. Park, she introduced herself immediately. Brought me a blanket and a steaming mug of something herbal that tasted like honey and ginger. Drink slowly, she said in careful English. You're safe here. Dada sat across from me, hands folded, waiting until I'd taken a few sips before he spoke again. Tell me everything, child. From the beginning. No detail is too small. So I did. I spilled it all the way. Lauren had been extra nice in Beijing, the backpack handoff, the overheard phone call months ago, about once I'm 18. It's all mine. The way she'd smiled like everything was normal right before she disappeared. My voice cracked when I got to the part about standing at the gate alone, realizing the flight to Beijing had taken off with her on it, and me, marked as staying behind with family, listened without interrupting, his face growing harder with every word. When I finished, he was quiet for a long beat. "What your sister has done," he said slowly, "is not just cruel. In this place, it is dangerous. For you, yes, but also for her. Abandoning a minor, stealing documents, lying to officials. These are serious crimes here and internationally. But more than that, you're 14, alone, American. That makes this an incident no one wants to ignore." He stood up, picked up a phone, and spoke rapidly in Korean. I caught a few words: embassy, minor, abandoned, but mostly. I just watched his calm authority. "Take over the room, Miss Park," typed furiously on a computer, while he made call after call. Within 20 minutes, things started moving fast. Security pulled footage from the arrival hall and the bathrooms. There it was, crystal clear, Lauren unzipping my backpack while I walked away, slipping my passport and boarding pass into her own bag with this quick, satisfied little glance around, like she was proud of herself. Then the gate footage, or whispering something to our tour guide, gesturing toward the bathroom like I'd thrown a fit and refused to come out. The guide nodded, updated the manifest, and Lauren boarded the shuttle bus to the domestic terminal without a backward look. Not one. Seeing it on the screen felt like someone had punched me in the gut. All those years of me being the quiet one, the easy one, the one who never rocked the boat. And she'd looked me in the eye and decided I was disposable. For what? Money I didn't even know about? Dada turned to me. "The trust you mentioned. Your father's money? Do you know more now?" I shook my head. Mom never talked numbers. Just that it was for college. Lauren always acted like it was mostly hers because she was older. Smarter, the responsible one. He nodded like he'd heard versions of this story before. "Greed shows truth. Your sister showed hers today. Now we make sure the world sees it too." The next couple of hours blurred. The U.S. Embassy in Beijing was looped in turns out. They have protocols for exactly this kind of nightmare. An attached named Ms. Reynolds got on a secure video call. Her face kind, but all business. She explained the charges Lauren could face back home: child endangerment, theft of identity documents, international abandonment of a minor, because we were in North Korea. The stakes were higher, diplomatic cables were flying, the tour company was being notified, and Lauren's group in Beijing was about to get a very rude awakening when they landed. But the real bomb dropped when Ms. Park came back with printouts of Lauren's phone records. VD accessed them through some international cooperation thing I didn't fully understand. Text to her boyfriend from the weeks leading up to the trip. Dubai was too risky. Pyongyang is perfect. No way she gets out on her own. Once she's gone, Mom will have to give me control of the whole trust. Molly's half is wasted on her art crap anyway. If she runs away here, she looks unstable. Judge will side with me. Problem solved. My hands shook as I read them. She hadn't just ditched me on a whim. She'd planned it for months to steal my share of Dad's money, the part he'd locked away from my education, the part he'd protected because he knew, even when I was little, that Lauren's charm hid something darker. Dad watched my face. Your father was wise. He saw ahead. He made sure no one could take what was yours. I thought about Dad, then really thought about him. How he'd call me his quiet warrior. How he'd slip me extra books when Lauren got new clothes. How he'd whisper that I was special in ways no one else saw yet. He'd known, and he'd tried to shield me the only way he could. The live feed from Beijing airport came up on a monitor about 90 minutes later. Lauren stepped off the plane, looking smug, scrolling her phone, probably already texting her boyfriend about how easy it had been. The embassy team and local police were waiting. I watched her face change, confusion, then annoyance, then pure panic as they pulled her aside and showed her the footage. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. She started talking fast, gesturing wildly. It was a misunderstanding. She's dramatic. She probably hid on purpose. But then they showed the text. Her whole body sagged. The color drained out of her face. For the first time in her life, Lauren couldn't talk her way out. Ms. Reynolds patched me in on a quick video call. Lauren's eyes locked on the screen, mascara already streaking. Molly, baby, I didn't mean, I thought you'd be fine. You thought I'd disappear, I said, voice steadier than I felt. You planned it. For money. Dad's money. You left me here, Lauren, in North Korea. You didn't even check if I was okay. She started sobbing. I'm sorry. I was stupid. I'll fix it. Mate, please. No, I said quietly. You don't get to fix this. Not anymore. I'm done being the one who doesn't matter. The call cut. I sat back, exhausted. Dada put a gentle hand on my shoulder just for a second. You did well. Now we get you home. They issued emergency travel documents overnight. The North Korean authorities, surprisingly cooperative once the diplomatic pressure hit. No one wanted an international incident with a crying American teen. Arranged an escorted flight back to Beijing, then onward to the States. Dada walked me to the gate himself. Before I boarded, he pressed a small card into my hand. Simple. Cream-colored, with his name and a number. If you ever need anything, he said, call. Day or night. You're not alone anymore. I hugged him. Awkward, quick but real. Thank you, Dada, for seeing me. He smiled, eyes soft. Your father saw you first. I just followed his light. The flight home was quiet. I slept most of the way, waking up in Ohio to Grandma, waiting at arrivals in Columbus. She drove me straight to her place in Madison. Wisconsin, no questions, just strong coffee and warm blankets. Mom came the next week, looking like she hadn't slept in days. She didn't defend Lauren. She just said I failed you both. But mostly you. I'm getting help. Therapy, whatever it takes, if you'll let me try. I didn't forgive her right away. But I didn't shut her out either. Boundaries, y'all, turns out they're not mean. They're survival. Lauren, probation, mandatory counseling, community service that'll take years. Her college dreams? Shattered scholarships don't like international incidents on your record. Last I heard, she was working retail in Columbus, living with a roommate, figuring out life without the golden child as shield. Me? When I turned 25, I got Dad's full inheritance. After growth and the extra policy he'd quietly added just for me, I moved to Charleston. Started my business importing beautiful things made by women who remind me of the strength I didn't know I had. Every year on the anniversary, I send Dada flowers and a note. He always replies with a book recommendation and one line. The hidden gem shines brightest now. If you're still here with me, thank you. Seriously, these stories aren't easy to tell, but sharing them reminds me, and maybe you, that we're stronger than the people who try to make us small. Drop a comment if this hit home. Tell me where you're at and what you're sipping tonight. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. It keeps these real, raw, karma-filled tailies coming for all of us who need them. Love y'all. Talk soon.